Hey everybody, it's TotalGamerJunkie. I want to welcome you all back to my channel. When we last left off, Steph joined the gang for a D&D session, and we also got to meet her band members for a bit, as well as her roommate. Now that that quick refresher is out of the way, let's get on to Chapter 5. I practice all weekend with Pixie. She runs me ragged during doing drills over and over again, teaching me the names of different rhythms. On, rhythms of, I thought it was rhymes, sorry. Different rhythms my body remembers better than my brain. It isn't exactly like riding a bike, but the longer I practice, the more muscle memory from teenhood returns. When Pixie goes home, I let the metronome be my teacher. Oh, yeah, metronome, I was thinking. So what the hell's a metronome? Drumming to its incessant, steady ticking late into the night. The next morning, there's a pair of noise-cancelling headphones sitting on the snare with a sticky note pasted to the outside of the box. Don't permanently damage your hearing. Love, Dad. Once I start, I can't seem to stop. The rhythm lives in my bones even when I'm not behind the drums. At work, I drum on the counters with plastic forks, practicing along with whatever music's playing. And when I walk home at the end of the day, I move to an imaginary beat, thriving on the applause of an imaginary crowd. Izzy gives me homework. She sends me playlists of artists I need to know, and playlists of songs she thinks we should cover, and the playlists of songs that remind her of me. I listen to them all, but the last one is on repeat in my head, even in silence. I try to dissect the meaning behind her choices. Does Girls Like Girls by Hayley Kiyoko remind her of me because I'm a lesbian, or because she's a girl who likes me? Also a girl. After running through the songs for the umpteenth time at work, Geordie tells me I have to play something else or he's going on strike. I love to stim to a song on repeat as much as the next person, but this is getting ridiculous, he says. It's okay, babe. I'll make you a playlist too. Ollie presses his forehead to Geordie's and they both crack a grin. Oh, come on, I protest. Just because you two found each other doesn't mean the rest of us aren't allowed to have a moment of gay panic. But as Geordie and Ollie are quick to point out, it isn't just a momentary fixation. Wait a minute, no. That's not gay panic if one of them's transitioned. That doesn't count as gay panic. They're just choosing to identify as the opposite sex. That's not gay panic. Unless you're saying gay isn't happy. Okay. I spend my days waiting to spend my evenings with Izzy. I live for the hours spent in her garage learning about music theory and structure, puzzling through lyrics together, flat on flat on our backs with a notepad between us. That's where we are when she says it. We need a name. I roll onto my side, face squishing into my arm. What do you mean, Izzy? And Steph's family good time band isn't good enough? She hits my knee with hers playfully. Very funny, but I think we might get sued by the creators of Arrested Development. What, scared of a little lawsuit action? We need something that says queer punk band. My god. And I'm guessing queer punk band is off the table. Steph, Izzy groans, but she's smiling. I narrow my eyes in thought, trying not to stare at her lips or think about how soft they look. Instead, I throw myself into brainstorming mode. Slam punk, punky cold, Medina. On Wednesdays we wear punk. Izzy groans. Okay, puns are not allowed. Punk intended. Izzy throws a pillow at me. Okay, maybe if I understood the punk vibe a little better, that would help, I say. Don't get me wrong, I love the music, but I'm pretty new to the scene. Izzy hoists herself up part way so she's leaning back on her elbows, long dark hair cascading down her back. It's just that punk is so much more than a vibe, you know? I follow her lead, sitting up and crossing my legs. Tell me, I say. I've spent days listening to every punk band she recommends. I know what the genre sounds like, I know the rhythms and the foundations of the music, but none of that matters compared with what it means to Izzy. Punk isn't just a sound, it's an attitude, a lived experience. It's about being pushed around and oppressed and rising up anyways. It's about being on the outside, about seeing injustice and doing something about it. It's about being angry and frightened and shouting to be heard anyway. I can't look away from this girl who feels like an epiphany. Izzy's eyes are glassy as she speaks. I want to reach out to her, a grounding touch to let her know I'm here, that I'm listening. My hand inches towards her. It would be so easy to slot my fingers between hers and lace them together. All I have to do is be brave. I chicken out at the last minute, instead bumping a pinky against hers, plus the black nail polish. Izzy looks down at our hands, so close together, and for a breathless moment I think she's about to show me up, courage-wise. Her fingers curl towards mine just slightly, but then she nods and pushes up to her feet. Yeah, we really need to get your look sorted out. What, you don't like the beanie? I stand to. Izzy steps closer and closer and even closer, snacking her hand around behind my head. The moment catches and snags, and I think if something doesn't happen soon, I'm going to pass out. I love a beanie, she says, then tugs it from my head. But maybe not for gigs. Gigs? I raise my eyebrow. Yeah, if you want to. I talk to some people I know who own a venue. It's not as big as Bar None, but we can start small, work our way up. Small or not, I'm absolutely gonna need a new look for when we play. Yeah? She catches my eye and holds it. Yeah. I lead her past the room divider into the bedroom, half of the garage, and towards the dresser. Make me over, Izzy Margolis, sorry. Izzy has a lot of clothes, way more than me, though she's not a very high bar, as I've been living out of a suitcase since graduation. It's nice. That's not a very high bar, I was saying. It's nice. Damn throat. It's nice not to have too many choices, but the high rate of laundry is less than ideal. I run my fingers along the fabric, stalling on a leather skirt. I hold it up to my body and show Izzy. What do you think? Oh, definitely not. What? You don't think I'd look good in a mini? I strike a model pose. You'd look great in anything. She snatches the skirt from me, fingers brushing against mine. She steals at the contact for a beat, eyes skating over my body, and I do detect a little wistful note in her tone. I let the hope blossom in my chest and probably in my cheeks too. It's just that you'll be behind the drum set with your legs. Ah, I see what she says. What about my legs? I take a step closer, unable to keep a smile off my face because she's sitting down with the skirt. Yeah, they're good legs, I'm sure. I mean, I would assume. Izzy says. Izzy turns her back to me and rifles through a few drawers in the dress. It's just that you might flash the audience. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Okay, yeah, let's not expose ourselves on stage. Good call. So, got any leather pants? Izzy laughs at that. What's with you and leather? I don't know. Feels punky. There are definitely some vegan punks who would disagree. Izzy eyes me carefully, her gaze practically leaving scorch marks along my skin in its wake. Besides, we don't want you to look like you're wearing a costume. It should feel natural, like an extension of your style, not an erasure. Okay, so what would you suggest? Izzy dresses me in ripped black jeans, a graphic tank, and a flannel tied around my waist. As a finishing touch, she fastens a couple of leather, or maybe pleather, bracelets around my waist. Her fingers whisper over my pulse point, lingering. What do you think? Izzy asks, turning me around to face a standing mirror in the corner. I like it, I say. Her hands drift to my hips, and I try to fail to stop myself from leaning into her touch. Comfy. Feels like me. Good. That's the whole point of punk, really. being yourself in the face of compulsory conformity. I grin at our reflections, Izzy wearing red and black plaid pants with gold zippers and a black long-sleeved boat neck top that hugs her body. A tattoo snakes up over her exposed collarbone, something viney. I wonder if it hurt like mine did. Ollie had to hold my hand the whole time, but by the end I had a black line swallow over my chest. I got it in college after I decided I would never go back to Arcadia Bay again. Oh, that's actually got a tattoo. The wings of a swallow carrying me wherever I needed to go. They've carried me here. Wait, did she have a tat? No. Her tattoo was in true colors. She didn't have it in Before the Storm, I think. They've carried me here to Izzy's garage. Maybe they'll carry me further. We look cool together, huh? I ask. Like a real girl band? Yeah. Something flicks across her gaze, unreadable and cloudy, and her eyes drift away from mine. I feel the moment slipping away just like her touch, and I cling to it for dear life. What about, like, eyeliner and stuff? I ask. You want? She gestures to her own meticulous cat eyeliner. I shrug. I've never really done much with makeup before, but it would be neat to try. I swallow. You can maybe put it on me so I don't F it up? Izzy motions for me to sit, then pulls a basket of cosmetics from the drawer and places it between us on the floor. The thought of Izzy's hands on my face sends a shiver up my spine, and then her hands really are on my face. I freeze, afraid to so much as breathe the wrong way in case she stops. She rests the side of her pinky on my cheekbone as she swipes a brush across my face. My eyes flutter closed and I lean into the touch. I don't even care about the makeup. If we could stay like this forever, I would give up life's essentials like oxygen and coffee. What color do you want? Izzy's question is a feather-light breeze across my nose. She's so close. My heart hammers in my chest, a beat far steadier than my drumming. But I open my eyes and follow her gaze to the basket full of colorful eyeshadow palettes. I swallow and do my best to sound normal, like I haven't been thinking about anything but eyeshadow. Oh, so many colors to choose from. I reach from the basket, sifting through the different options. You've really got a whole rainbow here, huh? What is this? Target during June. Izzy rewards me with a laugh. A little goth? Oh, goth. Okay, I thought it was like goo off someone. A little goth that that feeds my soul. I don't need more than a few seconds to choose. I know what color I want. It's the same as the liner she wore the first time I met her, when she came into Save Point looking like a storm. Purple. I hold up the palette, a small plastic one with half a price tag still clinging to the back. Izzy's expression falters. Her cheeks go slack and her eyes drift to the palette in my hand. No, she says quietly. Not purple? I glance back at the basket looking for another option. Is it not my color or something? No, purple's fine, just not that one. She plucks the palette from me and smooths a thumb over the price sticker, slowly, reverently. It's really old, she says weakly. She tears her eyes from it and places it on the nearby dresser before selecting a different purple. I want to know what's so special about a cheap little drugstore eyeshadow palette, but the words drown in my throat as Izzy instructs me to close my eyes and her hands return to my face. She swipes a thin brush over my eyelids, lingering on the corners. I wonder what she looks like when she's focused. I wonder what she looks like when she's this focused on me. The cool shock of liquid eyeliner hits my skin, and I do my best to stay still as Izzy meticulously paints my skin. Finally, she says, open, and holds a hand mirror up for me to see. I look like an alternate reality version of myself, with sleek black and purple angles lining my face. On the left side, she's drawn a little black star outlined in silver halfway between my lash line and my eyebrow. I look totally punk concert ready. I cheat a glance at Izzy to find she's looking at me too. Her eyes are dark, the little freckles of gold in her irises hypnotic, like I'll be pulled in if I stare too long. And I do. I do. There is a hitch in her breath as she inhales, and before my brain can catch up, before my silly thoughts can stop me, I lean in and touch my lips to hers. Ooh. Steph made the first move. What's gonna happen? Kissing Izzy Margoles isn't like fireworks or lightning. It's quiet and calm and warm, like falling into a soft pillow. I honestly thought Izzy was gonna make the first move. And I am falling so fast, and I'm falling so fast and hard. My hand finds her knee, and I press up towards her, eager to touch her anywhere, everywhere. I want to run my fingers through her hair, brush my knuckles down her spine, press my forehead to hers, and drown in the magnetic pool of her gaze. I never want this to end. Izzy pulls away, and my mind catches up. I've made a terrible error in judgment. I've misread the situation and ruined whatever good thing we had. I can probably kiss being in the band goodbye, and I definitely can't kiss anyone else. But then her eyes flutter open, and her hand falls to mine on my knee. She doesn't push it away. She doesn't push me away. She just repositions, reaching up to brush my hair behind my ear and says, "Thanks." At the same time, I rush to say sorry. We both laugh awkwardly, and I rock back, clipping my shoulder onto the corner of the dresser. I shouldn't have I began, but she cuts me off. No, I wanted you to. Okay, good, 'cause I wanted to. She hesitates, giving a one-arm shrug. Do you remember at the cafe when I asked you what kind of lesbian you were? I nod, yeah, and I said the kind that likes girls, the only kind of lesbian. Right. She doesn't say anything else for a moment, fingers picking at the corner of the price tag on the little purple eyeshadow palette. Well, yeah, 'cause that's right. Freaking, what's it called? Steph doesn't know she's transgender. I think for a moment she's about to tell me she's not a lesbian, or that she was just kidding or experimenting, or the word lesbian is actually French for one of those very yummy pastries with the flaky bits and the custard filling. I'm the kind that's trans, she says, finally. No, you're straight. Her eyes slide away from mine, down to the palette in her hands. She peels a strip of the sticker off, worrying the residue away with her fingernails. It's probably it's probably silly to keep it, but this was the first eyeshadow palette I ever bought. I was 12 and my dad needed me to pick up a few things at the store. He asked me if I wanted anything, and I picked this. She slaps the palette against her open palm. The sound hard and dull. Drugstore makeup, it was $2.99. Dad didn't even blink, just bought it for me. I know better than to interrupt, not while Izzy is letting me in like this. It's raw, I can tell, like she hasn't told this story a lot. It was the first time, the first time someone accepted me for who I am. I didn't even use it. A laugh breaks from her throat, part joy, part heartache, but it showed me it was safe to tell him when I was ready. It showed me it would be safe to tell others too. I hope it's okay that I'm telling you. Her eyes find mine again, bright and full of trust. I remember then something my mother taught me. The truth is like a prayer. When you're honest with someone, you're asking for their grace and their integrity. And when they're honest with you, that's what you owe them in return. I'd brush her off back then. I wasn't much for prayer anyway. Mum never made me go to church. She said faith was a choice I could make for myself, and I did. I decided it wasn't for me. But now, years after her death, knowing she died, counting her rosary, I feel the weight of her words, like she's standing just behind me, reminding me how important it is to catch Izzy in her vulnerability and hold her close. Drugstore makeup, I say slowly. Has a nice ring to it. Huh? Izzy's brows met in a question. It means something to you, something really special and personal. But it's oh so punk. You decided to be brave with your dad, deciding to be yourself openly, and it's part of our story now too. I reach out to hold the palette with her quieting her fingers as they try to rub the plastic clean. What do you think? Bad name? You you like it? You don't care about me being trans? Do I care? I ask incredulously. Like yeah, incredulous. But the word feels different on my tongue. Like it means more than I thought on the surface. Of course I care. I say quietly. I care because it's part of you, because it's your history. I care because I care about you. You do. It isn't a question, but then she blinks and her voice goes quiet. Like, in what way? That depends. A sly smile sneaks onto my lips. On what? Are you still the kind of lesbian who likes girls? A little laugh escapes her lips. Definitely. I can't wait to kiss her again, so I don't. Alright, that's the end of that chapter. In the next chapter, chapter 6, just we're in summer now, according to this. Yes, that's the end of this chapter. The proper reading chapters will be up in a few days. I just want to read all of them and then start uploading them, but they'll be up soon. So anyways, that's the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. This is TotalGamerJunkie, signing off.